Hey everyone, we are Bean and Bagel. We are a married couple from the Midwest in the U.S. I'm from Michigan, she's from Minnesota. Together we normally talk about food on our channel, and we post videos 1 to 2 times a week in case you're interested in following our channel. We're glad to have you. Today we're talking about these Nerds. These are the Juicy Gummy Clusters that were recently released. This is the strawberry punch flavor. So they're advertised as being crunchy, juicy, and gummy, and we're about to find out how accurate that is, and I'm gonna dive into it right now.
So Nerds were some of my favorite candies growing up. I always liked how you had the 2 little holes in the top, like so you could dispense the 2 flavors like separately, and you could like tap them out into your hand. And as a kid, I would pretend like I was like taking like little pills, you know, because they're kind of like that little pill shape in a way. So that's what I would pretend to do when I was a kid. But I always wondered, like, why were they called Nerds? And so I did some research, and it sounds like they were kind of called that because they were like these weird little kind of irregular, imperfect shapes. But the creator said like they are better together, like as a group. So I thought that was kind of a cute name, but the word nerd actually has some interesting history too. It first showed up published in a Dr. Seuss book called If I Ran the Zoo, and that was just like a little creature. I think that was called a nerd, like an imaginary creature. But yeah, it has some interesting history because people also think that it might have come from the word nut. So they called it N-E-R-T, nert. That was kind of like a nutcase or a nut job. So it may have come from the word nut. There's some other ideas about that word too, but it's kind of interesting.
You know, I've also heard that the word nerd comes from the word drunk. If you spell it backwards, so the K-N-U-R-D, nerd. So I don't have any historical accuracy to back that up, but I've heard that. And it seems like it could have kind of makes sense in some cultures, I guess. As far as, and then I was gonna say your childhood memory about the boxes. When I was a kid, I grew up with, people who smoked and stuff like that. And the boxes, like shaking the boxes, always reminded me of people who would do that with their cigarettes before they'd open them up and smoke. So that was some childhood memory of mine with Nerds. But as far as these ones, this is what they look like. They kind of have a nice little colorful vibe, and then you can see the gummy that they're wrapped around and stuck on. After tasting it, I do think that it's accurate with the crunchy portion. I think that the gummy portion is accurate. I don't get the juicy aspect though. I didn't feel or taste any kind of liquid or anything like that came out of the gummy. And I did, try a couple of them. And I'll eat this one just to make sure again. And I'm still not getting it. It just tastes like gummy. I will say though that the flavor is accurate. I get the punch. I get the strawberry. The strawberry flavoring kind of reminds me of some forms of off-brand licorice in terms of like the strawberry that whatever they use as far as flavoring, and specifically the ones that Menards and Fleet Farm. That's they remind me of that. On our channel, we do a review called Try It or Walk By It, and I'm gonna say try it because I do think they're good, even though I didn't get the juicy part.
Yeah, I would agree. I got a little bit of the juice, but not a lot. Not enough to really make it seem like they're that much different than the regular Nerds Gummy Clusters, but I do like the flavor. I do feel like maybe they're a tiny bit more sour, and I think maybe that has to do with the juice. It kind of amps up the flavor a little bit. So I kind of agree, like they're pretty similar to the other Nerds Gummy Clusters, but I would still say try them because I think that they're good. But If you've had them, let us know if you liked them or what you thought of them. And we'll talk to you in the next video. Bye!
See you later.